All right, Brad. What are we doing with the Nevada teams, both of them in Texas? So first, UNLV is now down to 1.5 against UTEP.
I bet UTEP when it opened above a field goal and shouldn't have. I just, off a big win. Let's see how grown up. I do think there's an adult running the program now for the first time in a while. Shot intended. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that, but what I see. I mean, I do like the coaching staff quite a bit for UNLV, but this is the next step is, after a really big win for the program, you're going on the road, you're facing a desperate team, laying points. I got to see it first. So I think the desperate team, UTEP here plus the points. Nevada game, Reno, we're going over the total. My power ratings are really strong on Nevada. They were last week and having to be right. But, man, I'm not sure my power rankings got a full handle on this Texas State team or the market for that regard. I mean, this is a team that's 3-0 against the number, covering by 3 touchdowns per game so far. I like the over, though. This Texas State offense went super high-paced. I thought this was a relatively low total, and Nevada moved to football in Kansas last week.
All right, Pac-12 action. Rising is going to play. Utah's now 6 against UCLA.
Yeah, even though I think he could be rusty, I like Utah there. It's more of a play against UCLA. Dante Moore, first big-time road start. I'm not going to count San Diego State as a true road test there. So I just think Salt Lake City for a young quarterback, probably not ideal. I'm not sure what UCLA is this year yet. We'll find out. I do know you got to give Utah credit for beating Florida and Baylor with a backup quarterback. So I like Utah here.
Early in the week, I bet Arizona State against USC plus 35.
Oh, no. At 35 you got it?
I did get 35, yes.
Yeah, I like that. You still get that. Right now it looks like a DraftKings and the Hall of Famers at South Point. I like that bet quite a bit. Everyone's throwing them in the trash. Deservedly so, though. They're down to a third-string quarterback, and we'll see. It looks like it'll be Drew Pine. I'm not a fan at all, but I just think, this was another game that was traded at multiple sportsbooks in the offseason, and we're talking it was like 14.5, and now it's 35, 4.5, 35. Yeah, even with the significant downgrades on Arizona State and with the third-string quarterback, I'm gonna take the Sun Devils here.
Oregon 21 against Dion.
We're laying it. Blowout city. You always, whenever you got a big favorite, what's the motivation for margin? I think Oregon has it, just with all the hoopla and hype surrounding Colorado. I also wonder, is Colorado starting to run out of gas? All the hype and everything, and all the games that have happened over the last 3 weeks. How much do they have left each and every week? A big time. Eyeballs on them constantly. Travis Hunter's that one non-quarterback that should move a point spread. He's worth at least a point. I got people telling me that they downgraded him 2 points. Colorado's team power rating with him out of the lineup. And obviously they're 3-0. They're a great story, but they're 2 plays away from being 1-2 and a non-story.
Okay, what do we do in the Pac? I'm sorry, yeah, Demond. What do we do in the Pac-2 title game?
Yeah, I like that. I kind of secretly hope that is the title game this year. I really would. I would be so overjoyed if that was the case. Even though I do have an Oregon State ticket to win the conference, so I would be happy. I'm laying it. Speaking of Oregon State, I'm laying it, the points. I just think they're the more complete team. They're kind of off a lackadaisical effort against San Diego State last week where they didn't cover. But, man, up front, O-line, D-line, they're just a little bit better than Washington State. So I'm not afraid to lay the 3 on the road.
This is going to be another oh no. John, let me jump this in before you go. Please don't say oh no. I took Michigan State plus 7.5 against Maryland.
I can't say what I want to say. No. Tough. I don't like Maryland. I bet Michigan State last week. I can no longer, until I see multiple games of difference, I can no longer bet Michigan State after what I saw last week. If Washington wanted to win that game by 60 points, they could have. That's how dominant of a performance that was. So Maryland has not looked good. They've gotten off the slow starts. I don't mind you taking the 7.5, to be honest with you. I think that's a pretty decent number. I can tell you I laid a 4 early in the week because I could only envision the market being very anti-Michigan State.
So what I was going to jump in with was, and you mentioned, I can't remember what team it was, that was 0-3 against the spread and not covering by a wide margin. Vandy's up there too, Brad. I have bet against them in 3 of their 4 games. But do I jump off the train this weekend, though, against Kentucky? They're catching, what is it now, 13 and a half?
I think you jump off of the fade train. There were some 14s available for a very short period. I think that was a really good bet that I